Welcome to What's Up, Bolts? I'm Fernando Ramirez, that cowboy hat wearing, sunglass donning, son of a gun, maybe. There's no whiskey sour Wednesday this week as the Chargers end up beating the Dolphins 23-17. They improved to 7-6. No, that's not a beer can in his hand, folks, for the
What?
people watching at home. It's a soda can. But we appreciate you guys for joining us. We did not get this show going last night after the game because I was still stuck at the stadium. There was a lot of movement going on. We didn't get to talk to the players till late, so there was a lot of things we had to figure out, but we got it done this morning, and I appreciate your guys' patience, but we're going to get right into it. Chargers end up jumping on the Dolphins early. I mean, they go up. The Dolphins end up on the first three plays of the game. Tua Tagovailoa pass incomplete. Incomplete 3 straight times. The Chargers did a really good job of handling. Folks, remember, no Sebastian Joseph Day, no Derwin James, and no Bryce Callahan. And I mean, if you want to throw in no Joey Bosa, no Joey Bosa as well. So it was a rough start for the Chargers from the get-go, and the guys really settled down. They were able to do some really good things, and Chargers offense gets started right away. Justin Herbert moves the offense 15 plays, 78 yards. They get to the red zone, and they decide to go for on first down. They go, you know what? What am I doing? Dan and Dago, how are you doing?
I feel pretty fired up, but the only thing that bugs the hell out of me is why couldn't you have beat the Raiders last week? This week you're sitting at 8-5, and you're looking real good. The playoff picture is wide open. I think they already have a spot right now, right?
Right now they're the 7th seed, but
exactly.
But
it would have probably been maybe higher or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, hey,
that's the only thing that bugs me. But hey, credit to where credit's due. They took care of business on Sunday night, and I think that brings them level on primetime games. I'm not sure what the record is.
No, they're two. I did the math last night with our compa Eric Williams, who gave me a ride home.
Shout out.
By the way, he wants you. He's like, when's Daniel going to come up to a game? I'm like, maybe soon. He's like, all right. He's like, Daniel and I have a lot to discuss. So
I was about to say, don't say the game, because then if they lose that game, I'm gonna get everybody's gonna hate on me in the comments.
No, last year you had a good record.
Yeah, last year I did. Yeah, last year
I think you were 6-2.
Yeah. I think
so
the Vikings and the Chiefs were the only ones I went to, and they lost. Yeah,
we won't say why they lost against the Chiefs. But a little inside joke there. But obviously, the Chargers handled business last night or on Sunday night. Dan, I mean, I was going to go through the play, but that's boring. That's not what we do here. What did you think about What did you think about the way number 10 played last night?
Why is anyone even surprised? Don't listen to stooges with blue check marks and on national TV. You know, they're just trying to run him down to try and aggrandize themselves. It's disgusting. We all know Justin Herbert's talent when the right players are on the field with him. This stretch, he had a hard time because not only does he have backup offensive tackles in the game and at times centers and guards, he also had his 3rd, 4th, and probably 5th receivers out there starting for him. That's not easy for anybody, you know, and obviously there's going to be struggles. There's going to be growing pains, and that's just what it was. And even then, he still is top 5 in the league in passing yards. So it's not like he's in a total slump. He has, I think I saw a graphic last night, 20 touchdowns, 7 picks. You can live with that. And it's like, it's just insane to me the disrespect he gets just because he's on a franchise that isn't doing too well. But it's like the kid has got that it factor. Like, he has got talent. He's got everything you'd want in a franchise quarterback. Don't you ever disrespect the son of Odin anymore.
Let's hear what Keenan Allen had to say last night after the game about his quarterback.
He's the best in the league.
Straight up. What makes him unique?
Composure, confidence, playmaking abilities, size, everything.
Keenan Allen's played with some very good. He's played with Phillip Rivers. He knows the league. He's been around the league for years. For him to say that about Justin Herbert, that's a big compliment. Just because, I mean, obviously And it's not just, I don't think it's just a quarterback or a receiver hyping up his quarterback. I really do believe, because yesterday there was a pass on third down where Justin threw it right in the breadbasket. Like everybody in the press box was like, whoa, like they couldn't believe that Herbert went to Keenan on that play because he was so well covered, but he only put the ball where Keenan could catch it. Keenan catches it. He falls forward for the first down, gets up, points right at Justin. Brandon Staley comes out, runs out, points at Justin, and it was like both of them were saying like that dude is a dog, like that is our guy. So it was Justin was making passes yesterday that only he could make. Man, there was another one where he scrambles to the right. Keenan's running to the right, he's running to the left, he just pitches it. I'm not gonna say because I heard last night what
that was so
Collinsworth
annoying.
said.
I heard that, yeah.
Or I think I can't remember if it was Chirico or Collinsworth, but he pitches it and Keenan ends up picking up 11, 12 yards. So man, Justin was a man possessed on Sunday night. He just looked like he was possessed. And this is another thing. He picks up a first down. He gets up. He signals first down. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I haven't seen Justin do anything like that ever. Yeah. Then he picks up another. He after the game in the locker room, he spikes a ball and kind of yells out like, I'm like, okay, like I've never fired up like that. So he was really fired up about this game. But let's talk a little bit more and let's hear what Brandon Staley had to say about the what he thought about the team and the way they played yesterday.
I just think it was an incredible team effort on defense. It was an incredible team win for us. I think that if you guys were at the game, you just saw the confidence our guys were playing with, how hard we played tonight. That's what I'm really proud of, is how hard we played and how connected we were. I felt like defensively, we just answered all the challenges in the game that we had to face. You know, obviously they're having a tremendous year offensively. They got a lot of weapons. We're down on, a ton of guys, but I think that the way our guys competed out there, you saw the competitiveness within our program and guys trying to prove themselves and showcase themselves to the league, and then also showcase our defense to the league, that we're up for the challenge, and so it was a team effort in every way.
So obviously, Brandon, he's not shying away. He's saying our defense, and the defense, Dan, really did do a number on Miami. Let me read out some stats to you. Let me see. Tua Tagovailoa, 10 for 28, 145 yards, throwing, 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice, once by Kyle Van Noy, once by Morgan Fox. Both of them were on third down.
Oh, but he's better than the son of Odin, please.
Raheem Mostert, 11 carries for 37 yards. Tyreek Hill. So listen to this. Tyreek Hill, 4 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown. If you take away his 81 yards, Tua only threw for 60 yards. So that's a little alarming. Jalen Waddle for 2 for 31. They just couldn't conjure up anything on offense. Dan, in my opinion, the only thing that saved him was that weird fumble where Tyreek Hill turned it into a race, and he ends up scoring that long touchdown. Other than that, I just didn't see, like, that was the only thing that kind of kept him in. And then obviously Michael Davis flipping and falling on that touchdown, that 60-yard touchdown. But other than that, the Dolphins really didn't have anything, and the Chargers had an answer for everything that the Dolphins were doing.
100%. And you know what? We talked about this before we jumped on, but I was so surprised at the start of the game. You're facing one of the worst run defenses in the league, and you throw 3 straight times to go 3 and out.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier too. Tua did not look comfortable. I don't know why they weren't running the football as they should have been, because it's like I always talk about, Frown. The thing that always travels is a run game and defense, because and yeah, it's just insane to me. You're playing one of the worst run defenses in the league, and you're having to throw so many times and all this stuff. Then on top of that, you abandoned the run at some point when the game was never really out of reach the whole time. And, especially, this is what I was going to say, especially because Mike McDaniel was supposedly the architect of the run defense last year in the 49ers and everything else. And run
offense.
Run offense, yeah, that's what I said.
No, you said run defense.
Oh my bad. Architect about the running game offensively in San Francisco.
This guy sucks.
Whatever. All right. But that's what I'm saying. It was just interesting. They didn't run the football. I didn't think as much as they needed to.
You're 100% right. Here's Brandon Staley talking about the secondary and how he thought the secondary played on Sunday night.
Asante and Vato were fantastic. Ja Taylor in his first start ever, a rookie, to go in there against that group. Just cool as the other side of the pillow, and then Nas and Lowe, playing without Derwin out there. I just really felt them connect our group. I thought that they played with great depth in the deep part of the field. They tackled well. Tranquil and Murray were really good in the middle. And then our rush, I just felt like we, Kyle Van Noy, Khalil, Foxy, Chris Rump, that group, our guys inside against the run. It was just a team effort, and our guys were up for the challenge tonight.
I was impressed with both of them. Michael Davis obviously had that one slip up, but Asante was really except for that one weird pass interference that they called on him. I thought he was really clean. The one thing I've been wondering about, Dan, all season, and this is one thing that you and I always chat about when we get to watch the games together, is that sometimes I feel like the Chargers are one of the worst teams against the slant. And like last night they did so well that I'm like, okay, where's that been? Well, they press covered 35% of the time last night. So I'm like, okay, like you should be doing, especially against guys like Devontae Adams and some of these other receivers. That's kind of their bread and butter. And I just in the past I haven't seen them cover that very well.
Especially because I thought they did. It's an easy completion. It's almost like running the football. It's an easy completion. You're almost guaranteed 4 yards. Yeah, exactly. And it's ridiculous. Especially you got to have the football IQ when it's third and short to not give him 10 yards of cushion. Like it's ridiculous.
Especially with some of the guys that. Well, I guess they're not going to face that many top receivers coming up. They face the Tennessee Titans have okay receivers. So do the Colts. The Rams, I don't think Cooper Kupp comes back. I don't think Allen Robinson comes back.
Yeah, they might as well shut him down.
Denver, I don't know what Denver's going to look like when they play him, but this just gives confidence to Michael Davis and Asante Samuel Jr., who both kind of needed, especially after the shaky performance that they had last weekend against Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and the Raiders.
Exactly. But this was they played a solid game. Obviously, if you're Michael Davis, you don't want to see that 60-yard touchdown go in. But other than that, I thought they played well. And the defense, you can't talk more about the defense just because they really did play very well. I thought everything that they did was on point, and they were really on it. And I don't think I had seen a performance like this, but Braden Fehoko told me after the game. Let me see if I can find it. He told me after the game, we've always had a good game plan every week. It just takes time. I don't want our defense to play perfect the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I want us to start finding our niche when the games start becoming crunch time. Every week is a playoff game like this week. That's when you start to playing your best ball, and I think we're starting to find that. So what Braden's basically saying is that the Chargers need to find their defensive footing right now at this point where the playoffs are on the horizon. You need to be playing good football, cohesive football. If this, Dan, was a step in the right direction for the defense, and they get guys back like Derwin, like Joey, like all these guys, how good could this defense be in your opinion moving forward?
I've like I told you, I've taken flack a lot this year, especially from that stooge and that scumbag on Wednesday nights. But I thought, oh, you want me to do it? All right, here we go. Let's get the voice ready. That stooge, that scumbag, because I've said I thought all season the defense has been the strong point of this team all year. And this is why I understand people are going to tell me, what are you talking about, Dan? They're terrible in the run game, Dan, and all this other stats and all that stuff. I'm like, I understand that, but no one expected them to be that, Legion of Boom, clean sheets week in and week out and just dominant. What they've done is this. They've given up yards, yes, but when the offense has needed stops, they've always gotten them. They've gotten them in the only times they didn't, obviously, was in the blowout game against the Jags. I think there was one other game where it was just out of reach.
Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks. Yeah, thank you.
You're
But it's like
welcome.
other than that, in some of these close, tight games, yeah, of course, they won't get to stop against Kansas City on that drive to win the game. I get that. That happens. But it's like in that game and in other games, there's been moments in like the third or early fourth quarter where they'll get a stop and get the ball back for the offense, and just the offense couldn't score. And that's just, it is what it is. No one expected them to be, like I said, the 85 Bears or whatever, where they're just dominating and killing people. But, they have stepped up in big moments in games where they've gotten stops and just the offense couldn't capitalize. I've been saying it all year.
Yeah. No, 100%. And you know what? Going back to what you just said right now, Brandon did see, it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. Brandon did see a little bit of some things that he wanted to fix. Here's one thing that he thinks needs to be a lot better moving forward. Here we go.
Yeah, we just need more consistency with our operation. We just, I think we need to be more decisive down there. We had some penalties, and that's never good down there. We talk about it all the time, and that was a big emphasis in this week. And we just got to keep working harder to find that formula down there of scoring the ball. I think we have to run the ball better down there because I think that gives you a much better chance of being consistent. And then we got to make sure that, we don't have any penalties that back us up. So we just got to be cleaner down there, and that's going to continue to be an emphasis for us.
And that's been the biggest problem all year. It's not just in the red zone.
Real quick, what Brandon's talking about is the red zone offense.
Red zone offense. 100%. The consistency issue has been there all year. You'll have a great game like this, for instance, just using an example, and then next week you lose to a 4-9 team or whatever it is. And it's like you have to find that formula week in and week out. And you have to be consistent with it. You have to stay true to your core values and do it every week.
And now go Chargers, go.
Yeah, they're alive now, so you can play that as much as you want, dude. Last week they were dead. This week they're alive. Let's see what happens.
That's what she said.
They're just trying to use all the sound bites, I guess. It doesn't even matter.
And so obviously, see, yeah. I was gonna do something else, but I won't. So yeah, no, the red zone offense does need work. I mean, I've been obviously I've been a little bit critical of kind of the offensive and some of the offensive play calling, but I just didn't like that 4th down call yesterday or on Sunday. The where you go to DeAndre Carter. I know you're probably trying to take him by surprise. Yeah. 1-on-1. Maybe he could have made a move to shake the corner that tackled him, but he started slipping. He didn't really go anywhere. So you're like, okay. So that was a mistake. There's other times where they had to settle for field goals, and it's kind of like, okay, dude, like, why aren't they moving? Like, they had to settle for field goals in their own here, let me pull it up. But it just they need to be a lot better when they get down there, because it seems like they can move the ball up until the 20, and right at the 20 it's like, okay, everything kind of stops. Here we go. They were able to get the ball up to the 15-yard line. Oh no, to the 20-yard line. Justin Herbert incomplete, short left. Justin Herbert sacked. Justin Herbert pass to Austin Eckler for 11 yards. 4th and 5. I was calling for them to go for it. Eric Williams looks at me and he goes, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Why not?" And then he just starts laughing. The next drive they scored a touchdown. That beautiful throw from Justin and Mike Williams. And then Mike Williams coming down with it.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy to imagine what the son of Odin, God of lightning, looks like with his weapons back. It's insane that people don't understand that, but I digress.
But Mike yesterday, man, he was on a different planet. He was he made that first grab on 3rd down where he popped the ball up a little bit, and then he was able to catch it while he was going to the ground. Then he has that 55, that one where Justin kind of rolls to his right, throws to the to his left, and
dude, and still
Mike Williams makes that 55-yard catch. So it was just incredible. Let's scroll down. Oh, you know what? It was more in the second. And see, this is where I'm coming with it again. You need to fix that 3rd and 4th quarter offense. The Chargers are still struggling. Yes, they were able to score 17 points yesterday in the 2nd quarter. 3rd quarter, 3 points. 4th quarter, 3 points. They need to score more points in those quarters. If not, they're going to face dangerous teams coming up that are going to smack them in the mouth, and they're not going to let them get away with it. Second, and look, they punted on their first 3 out of their first 4 drives of the second half. In the third quarter, they got down to the Miami 8-yard line. Herbert, Keenan Allen, 7 yards. Justin Herbert incomplete to Keenan. Penalty, Corey Lindsley, false start. 3rd and 8. On 3rd and 8, Justin Herbert incomplete pass to Gerald Everett. And then obviously Cameron Dicker had to kick the field goal. So, and then you punt another field goal where you're at the Miami 8-yard line again. Austin Eckler takes it for 2 yards. Then Will Clapp ineligible, reported as eligible. Okay, my bad. Justin Herbert fumbles, and then he fumbled. I remember that. Justin Herbert fumbled the snap, and he was able to fall on it. 3rd and goal. He hits Austin Eckler for a -4 yards, and then they have to kick the field goal. The Chargers, for some reason, in the 3rd and 4th quarter, they're just not scoring points, and it's starting to become alarming. And that's why I can't fully buy them being a playoff team, because they're still struggling. I know yesterday was the first game that that Mike Williams, Justin, and Josh and Keenan were on the field again together, but there's still something that tells me that they're struggling in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and I don't know what it is, but and they keep on saying, "Oh, we just need to coach better." Well, hell, you've had the last 6 weeks. Yeah. Where the hell is that gone? So, if it happens against Tennessee, it's going to be rough, because Tennessee is a team that they will put you away. They'll put you away early, especially with the run game, because I'm just saying, like, it's not going to be pretty if the Chargers can't score in the second half of games. So that's my big concern when it comes to this offense. Can they get better and in the 3rd and 4th quarter score points? Because that's still a little bit concerning to me.
That, and then here's what I've been saying that bugs the hell out of me. And I know they won last night, but Justin Herbert throwing for 51 attempts to me is insane. That number is
he completed almost. He only had like 11 incompletions. What are you talking about?
No, but that's not the problem. You're going to become one-dimensional, and you're going to play a good defense that understands how to take away everything from you. And then what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Frau, if it's, let me try and add this mathematics, 23-20, 4th quarter, you need to ice the game. You're going to throw? You're going to throw to get a first down? Yeah, good luck. You're going to give the other team timeouts like that. You have got to be more efficient in the run game to where you can limit 30. 30 to me is a good number. Going 40, 50, that's a lot.
I just think last night they were able to, like, they took advantage of something that Miami just doesn't do well, which is cover receivers. And I think that's what they did. They just took advantage of it.
Hell, that doesn't mean nothing to me. They've been doing that for weeks. I'm pretty sure he had 40 or something in the last 2 games.
No, he's had a couple of games where,
and that's what I'm saying, because you know what that tells me? They don't trust their run game, and they're quick to abandon it whenever they can. And it's like, I get it. Like, if you're not physical up front, it is going to be a long night in the run game, but you have got to figure out something that works, because down the stretch, it's going to cost you 100%. That's just, call me old-fashioned, Frau, but I want to pound the rock and be physical.
If you smell.
No, he's garbage. Him and your other hero, garbage.
Let's see what Brandon Staley had to say about the performance from his quarterback on Sunday.
Absolute dog.
Yes, Justin was fantastic tonight. He definitely led the way for our team. I thought he played with great energy tonight. That really affected his teammates in a positive way. Just made a lot of winning plays, really good decisions throughout the game. And, when you have all your weapons, we're going to get DP back next week, so I'm not going to say all of them. But, when you get Mike back in this movie, it looks different. It feels different. There's just more available to you. And so those guys were able to connect tonight. Keenan was, his usual self tonight. I felt like, 9 guys caught passes tonight. So that's the offense that we like to play, where people touch the ball. I thought we ran the football well enough. And like I said, Justin was fantastic with his decision-making tonight. That's a good defense that we just played. I have a lot of respect for them. So to do it against them, I think is a great thing for our team.
You could tell he had so much emotion in that game after. It was so good to see him in the locker room that the Chargers social media posted. Just so fired up, spiking the football, getting amped up. I'm like, let's freaking go, dude. I was fired up after that.
Well, I'm gonna say that for the last segment of the show. Justin, obviously, like we've been talking about, he missed those two guys. I mean, last night,
100%.
let me go to Justin. Obviously, was 39 for 51, 367, and one touchdown. That obviously should have been a lot more. But then you go and look, Mike Williams, 6 for 116, one touchdown. Keenan Allen, 12 for 92. And Joshua Palmer, 4 for 53. Let's throw in Austin Eckler, I guess, in there, 8 for 59. So all four of those guys were really on. But when you talk about the receivers, all three of them were there. They all played well. They all had an impact. And that's really what helped the Chargers get to the top. Now let's hear from Justin and see what he had to say about the way his wide receivers played on Sunday Night Football.
They're two of the best to ever do it. And to have guys like that on our team, you know, they bring a different energy, a different vibe to our team. And to have those guys back during practice and during this game, you know, they come up big time on third down. And Keenan and Mike have been making plays. And, you know, super thankful to have those guys on our team.
Absolute dog, dude. You know he's
Justin, thankful was Thanksgiving.
This guy, he can do whatever the hell he wants, dude. He's the son of Odin. He'll turn back the clock if he wants.
You know, it's funny. Mike has actually had a big year. And I don't think, obviously, the injuries are going to be overlooked.
Yeah. But probably the games he played in.
Listen to this. And let's take away the Chiefs' second game because he was only in there for like 8 snaps.
Yeah.
Raiders, 2 for 10. Okay, that one was an outlier. At Chiefs, 8 for 113 and a touchdown. Next week against the Jaguars, 1 for 15, one touchdown. Here we go. Here's a crazy stretch. At Texans, 7 for 120 and no touchdown. Browns, 10 for 134. Broncos, 2 for 17. Seahawks, 7 for 86 and a touchdown. And then Dolphins, 6 for 116 and one touchdown. So he's had 4 100-yard games this season, and he's at 44 catches for 626 and 4 touchdowns. Now, obviously, Mike would have to have almost 100-yard performances in the next 4 games for him to get to 1,000. But knowing Mike and the way he kind of is, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get close to it and maybe get to 900, 950, maybe even 1,000. But Mike is just, you could tell they really miss him, and he's on a different level.
100%. He was much needed because you saw now they could stretch out the field, you know, consistently. And that was a threat because obviously, you know, what's the cardinal sin for now as a quarterback? You never throw across your body. And here the son of Odin goes, making it just look so simple and easy, freaking bombs it to his ass. And he's still catching it over.
I feel like only him and maybe Patrick. You know what? I don't even know if Patrick, because Patrick even said there's some throws that he makes that I don't like, or that he makes some throws that I can't even make. Maybe that's one of them because Justin just puts it right in the bread basket. So
because like it's one thing to do it on like, because you remember that famous, you know, Brett Favre pick, and I think the playoffs
against
where he goes across his body, the Saints,
New Orleans,
and that was just a little, you know, 10-yard I think dig route. I think he was just coming across, and this fool's over here bombing it to the other like corner end zone of the field and everything else, and it's just insane the way the touch he has, the power, the vision, everything. I just love the God of Lightning. He's amazing.
No, and he had a special performance last 100%. Night. Though I think a lot of fans, because of Emmanuel Acho and some other people, try to make it a Tua versus Herbert Bowl and all this crap. And it's funny because I don't think it was anything like that, but I do feel like Herbert fed off of the energy of it's Sunday Night Football. You need this game. You got your guys back. I think he fed off of that energy, and Justin Herbert. Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts will always be intertwined, I guess, because of the draft class.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just it's interesting, but it's funny because Justin was asked about it numerous times,
Of course.
Yesterday and in the press conference. So here's what Justin had to say about Tua and his thoughts on that.
We've got a lot of respect for Tua. He's an incredible quarterback, and he's made some big plays this year. And I think it's just a credit to the defense for the week of preparation they put in together. And they were connected and they were flying around and they were playing fast football, and that was really fun to watch from our defense. And they got a really good football team on that side of the ball. And so just a ton of respect for those guys, and just told them to stay healthy, keep getting after it, and fun to watch them.
Every time I see the son of Odin play, all I think is, thank you, Miami.
I was
Thank
waiting.
you.
Wow, Dan, you waited 30 minutes to say that. Congratulations.
I know, I had to. I was trying to behave. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it rip. Thank you, Miami. You're my second favorite franchise. I appreciate you for everything you do for the program.
Hopefully this offseason we can get Mike McDaniel on. That'd be cool. He was a compa. We saw him in Indy for the combine.
Yeah.
It
seems like a fun interview. You saw him on Max.
Exactly. But you see that he didn't want to sit in the interview chair. He took it from Ty Schmidt. I remember that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that you could tell that these guys all have admiration for each other. It's not like the olden days, I don't think, where guys have reminiscence against each other, or you got excuse me.
Well, it's
got drafted ahead of me or anything
it's
like that.
It's a new type of athlete. When the hell did you ever see Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, or any of those greats?
Okay, I'm not trying to get into that discussion. But it is.
No, but I'm saying it's an example. It's an example.
Yeah, it's just different. But yeah, and the last thing I want to get to before we close this out, and obviously, the Chargers do deserve kudos for their defense, for even special teams played a big part of what they did. Yeah. But the offense still has me a little bit shaky. There's something about it that I'm still not 100% sold. We'll see how they do against Tennessee, against Indy, against the Rams. And again, by the way, that Rams game, I mean, I may be jinxing it now, but that Rams game still has not moved. They're moving a lot of other games, and they have not moved that Rams-Chargers game. I wonder if they're going to keep it as a Sunday Night Football and do Baker Mayfield versus Justin Herbert.
The thing is, looking a little bit forward, if you'll entertain me, you easily could finish. There's 3 games left, right? 4. You could easily finish 11-6. They're totally beatable teams. Totally beatable.
But that's the problem. But I've seen this numerous
you and I know
times.
it. The biggest enemy for the Los Angeles Chargers isn't some opponent on the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, doesn't matter where. It's a man in the mirror, because they have killed themselves all year. I bet you we would look at these 6 losses. In the mirror? Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Shout out to the other MJ. I bet you if we look at these 6 losses, half of them are going to be, wow, unbelievable. You lost to an inferior team like you did last week. And yes, I said inferior. People in the comments, I said inferior.
Joe Morley.
Love that guy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely understand where you're coming from with that. I have to give just real quick. It's interesting. Last night, Keenan Allen was on with Rodney Harrison, and I can't remember. It's what's his name? Chris Collinsworth's son. Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was on after the game, and they asked him, "Hey, you guys are still in this? You guys are still fighting? What is it that makes you guys keep on fighting and clawing and trying to get in there and trying to win?" This is what Keenan Allen had to say about what it is.
You guys never quit. And that's one characteristic that I see with you guys. You guys continue to fight, continue to claw. Where does that come from? Is it the head coach? Is it a combination of head coach, veteran players? Where does that come from?
I think definitely the head coach. He's created a culture that that gives us the chance to fight. We go through the week and he take care of us. We're not banging up our bodies in practice too much. So when we get out here on the field, we can lay it out all on the line.
That's a big compliment if you're Brandon Staley. If for one your top receiver to say it starts with a head coach, he's the one that's built this. He's the one that doesn't let our bodies bang during practice. He's the one that set this mindset for us. That's pretty impressive for Brandon. That means Brandon has not lost the locker room. The locker room is still 100% in with him. And I know people are like, well, duh, they're the 7th seed. Sometimes you can lose the locker room even if you're the 7th seed and make the playoffs just based off of pure talent. But these guys are still clawing. They're fighting. They're trying to make it to the playoffs. I don't think that Brandon Staley's lost this locker room at all. No. I think, if anything, they've become a little bit more they become a little bit tighter, if you will.
You have to.
Or maybe closer.
Because the pressure's been mounting. You've seen on the Twitter spheres all the naughtiness that's been out there trying to, find storylines where there isn't, stuff like that. You've seen Emmanuel Ocho run his mouth about, I would say, the top 5 quarterback, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. That's a hot take from me, your boy. But that's only going to drive your team either together or apart, and it's driven them together because of Brandon Staley and who he is as a person and his message about it's all about relationships, because no one's going to go to hell for a stranger, for now. It's an unfortunate thing. That's just a reality. And it's until you start to develop those relationships and be like, man, dude, these are my brothers. We're in this together. It's we before me and everything else. That's when you're really going to put everything. That's when you're going to work harder, stay the longer hours and everything else to make sure you get everything done so you're successful on Sunday, Monday, or Thursday.
No, I completely agree. And that's the thing, is that Brandon has really he's changed. I mean, I think he's kind of changed the culture a little bit in the locker room. He has these guys believing, so kudos to him. Well, and like I said, big win. What'd you say?
No, I was gonna say, it's like we've talked about these head coaches who take over programs that haven't had a historic don't have a history of success like the Steelers, the Patriots, or anybody else. It takes time to turn it around. It's not easy. It's not easy. Like, people who expect it to be done in 2 years, like it's not like, I don't know, building a home or a car or whatever. It's not like there's instructions on how to be successful. You got to play with it, see what comes out, and it takes time. Unfortunately, and I know people are impatient, but it takes time.
Exactly. So, I mean, obviously, big win for the Chargers, 23-17. Like I said, there needs to be a little bit more urgency, a little bit more with that offense. The offense, I'm serious. It worries me a little bit, but we'll see what happens with that. But we appreciate you guys so much for joining us on another episode of What's Up, Bolts.
That's weak.
I had a long night. On What's Up, Bolts. Obviously, we appreciate you guys so much. Guys, don't forget to check out House of Horns. I've been filling in lately for Vic the producer. So obviously, Gilbert and I have been having a little fun with what's been going on with the Rams. Not about them, but just in general. Like, you guys know how Gilbert and I are. You can't get us in a room together and Dan and Dago without a little commotion going on. Dan and Dago's not on it. We don't trust him to talk Rams. So that's been cool. And obviously, we wish Vic the producer gets healthy quickly. So he's day to day, like Gilbert says, not week to week. So that's always good news. Guys, don't forget to check out Compas on the Beat. This week we'll be having some good stuff on there, like what's going to happen with some of these victories. I mean, the Jaguars upsetting the Titans, the Lions upsetting the Minnesota Vikings. What is real and what is not real? The Compas will have all that for you. Don't you guys fret. Compas FC, because of the wild schedule, we weren't able to break down the the quarterfinals, but we will be here for the semifinals. Expect the episode either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. We'll have your full breakdown on who's going to the World Cup final, what happened, some of the news and notes going around right now in in FIFA, and we appreciate you guys for your patience. But this weekend was just a crazy weekend, and we weren't able to get that out to you guys. That's my fault. I apologize. And don't forget, Combat COMPAS, Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. Some of these guys are having big fights coming up. And those interviews are still relevant to today because they talk about maybe those two fighting each other and the winner fighting Tyson Fury. So a lot of good stuff. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for checking out checking out What's Up Bolts. I'm Fernando Ramirez. That's Dan and Dago. We appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget, be a compa, tell a compa, like, subscribe, comment. If you guys have any questions, we will answer it on the program. We appreciate you guys so much. And obviously, this is for Dan and Dago. One final.
Now go Chargers, go.
Thank you guys so much. And have a great rest of your guys' week.